I have a question for you. Talking about all this government shit, what do you think is the point of a government?
Ah, it is. It's a weird thing because in essence, it's kind of like a mutual giving away of rights. In a sense, we give up a certain amount of rights, personally speaking, so that our society on a whole can benefit holistically together.
Yes.
And it's kind of like it's a social contract. Is what they say. Is what they call it. And with that social contract, we gain, hopefully speaking, security, safety, liberties, rights, civil rights, basic human rights.
Exactly. So, do you think our modern day government right now is doing a good job of doing exactly what you just said?
I question it wholeheartedly. I mean, put it that
Agreed.
way. As far as I mean, if I had a vehicle right now, I would be traveling the nation, getting a a barometer or litmus test to see if this is just in a pocket of Southern California
Yeah.
or if it's actually nationwide,
Everywhere. Yeah.
which I can't do because guess what? I don't have those resources.
Yeah.
People and that we vote in through a democratic republic, which means guess
Exactly.
what? We
Like a
vote,
real
but then again,
democracy.
our hold on, our vibe, our what do you call it? Our system of decision making in terms of our governmental policies are
Yeah.
done through the people we vote in. We don't vote
Exactly.
every day on
On our
policies.
laws.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
don't,
don't. So,
and that's why it's a republic.
leading to my next question, do you believe that we as the people have a say on what our representatives do?
Yes, we do. It's a matter of the people actually utilizing the rights given to us through our Constitution.
Yeah.
The press not being afraid to actually report on things, which they have, which is the Fourth Amendment in the Constitution. I want to say freedom of the press. Hear about this? I mean, okay, the war on terrorism and the war on drugs are infinite wars. We're never gonna actually defeat terrorism.
Yeah.
I mean, she can be afraid of a mouse and be terrorized tomorrow by that mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Or drugs. There are always going to be drugs. Especially the fact that we're fighting wars with our men on drugs.
Yeah.
That really is what's going on.
And if I were to give you an option of global domination, would you take it? Meaning you're empowerment of all government around the world and military.
No. I mean, no.
No, I'm just asking you this like a personal theoretical question. If you had that option, would you do it and try to change it for the better?
No. It would have to be a consortium of countries like the United Nations. Which, by the way, where are our UN peacekeeping forces? I haven't heard of them since 9/11.
The UN is also failing to help Ukraine. I mean, I guess that's not their responsibility, but
It
I
is a
believe
responsibility.
right?
It's one of the things they were set up for. After the end of the Second World War, they were set up to actually protect the interests of the world from another Holocaust or Holocaust-like scenario. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, man. It was nice to meet you. We're here with.
Bumdog Torres.
All right. My first question for you is going to be, what do you think is the point of a government?
Point of a government. I mean, even when you go on a tribal level, there's always some sort of system of deciding what should be done. Uh, as you incorporate more people in more situations, the decision making process becomes more complicated.
You think the government like guarantees anything for us, such as like safety, for example?
Well, that's the purpose of the decision making of any community or any even on a tribal level.
Do you think our system works?
It depends on who you talk to. Interesting enough, the founders. One of the reasons why it's the longest running government, one of the longest running governments in the world, is because the founding fathers originally made it so that it couldn't be changed. They put a lot of what's called locks and chains on it, so that it would be impossible to be corrupted. What they thought, that's what they thought. But what happened was, and this has happened during their lifetime, Jefferson, Madison,
Yeah.
is they realized that they had made it too strong. They had made it too unchangeable. Because when you create something, you see things that work and see things that don't work. So you want to change it accordingly. But they had made it so solid that they couldn't change it, even though they're the ones that built it. One of the elements that they believed in was a kind of humanitarian elite where they wanted the power in the hands of the elite because they felt that they were the most likely to share it or to be benevolent with their power. But right after the revolution and right after they established, they realized that they weren't benevolent about it at all. They were actually gaming the system. They were making laws that benefited solely themselves, and they realized, well, this is becoming a farce. This is not a democracy. This is more like an oligarchy. They knew that even back then. They knew that.
Exactly. That was the problem because they were, trying to create this whole humanitarian elite, and they were on the elite because they were elite. And maybe it was subconscious, right? Maybe they didn't really understand it until they did.
Until they were benevolent to a certain point. They did have fairly they were fairly they were remarkably progressive for their time, and they thought the people that would come after them would be equally progressive, but they weren't. They were more conservative than them. They actually wanted to start an almost kind of monarchy within this republic, and they said, this is a mistake. But by then they couldn't change it because they had made it too solid. That's why Jefferson said there should be a revolution every 20 years. But by then, he had made the government revolution proof,
Yeah,
ironically.
exactly. That's an interesting line. I don't think I'd ever heard that before. There should be a revolution every 20 years.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Change is like how we evolve.
Yeah.
Do you think today our government is corrupt and you think they abuse, that power that the Constitution gives them?
That's a completely rhetorical question. I mean, it's so obvious. It's not even worth saying yay or nay about.
I completely agree. Yeah.
It's not even a secret anymore. It used to be backdoor. It used to be covert, but now they're just doing it out in the open. Like, for example, the developers totally just own the city council in Los Angeles. Like, there used to be a law that you couldn't have a building in Hollywood high enough that it would obstruct the Hollywood sign. That was a law for years. Just a few years ago, they broke that law. Guess who broke it? The developers. You know what I mean? You know.
Do you think that we as the people have any say on what our representatives do, or
Not anymore? There's it's at the level of a miracle for it to change now. They aren't beholden to us at all, except maybe to get votes. But after they get voted in, then they're not beholden again. That's actually what I like about Trump. He doesn't even pretend that he's not corrupt, or he makes no pretense whatsoever that he's just in it for the money. I mean, his supporters may say that, but I love him because he just does it out in the open.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. I mean, it's such a comedy.
do you feel that the government has ever violated your rights personally?
Not really, no. I'm sure they're listening to every single word we say, so we should.
Yeah, in a way, they're violating like our privacy.
Yeah, in that way, yeah. But it's just like everybody else.
If you had the option to achieve global domination, which means you'd be in charge of governments worldwide, and military worldwide, would you do it?
Would I do it?
Would you? Yeah, would you take that power
I mean, just for the hell of it, if they gave it to me.
if you had the option to take it or not? Yeah,
The option. What's the other option?
to just continue living your life.
I mean, like the option would have to be okay. You can be the ruler of the world, but you only have 2 years to live, or
No,
be the ruler of the world, but you don't have any arms or legs.
no, there's no condition. There's no condition.
Then why wouldn't I?
All right, what would you do?
I don't know, all sorts of nice, wonderful things. So vote for me. What is the most pressing issue that needs to be addressed? To me, it's the environment, because it doesn't matter if you're a fascist or a communist or whatever. I mean, if you don't have air to breathe, then we're not going to be, there's nothing to fight over. You don't have clean water. There's no, the philosophy between you and me is totally meaningless. But if you have a sound environment, as far as I'm concerned, you guys can do whatever you want. But if the environment is destroyed, then there's nowhere I can go to escape it. There's nowhere I will be able to go where I don't have to deal with anyone. You can do your religious or your conservative or your fascist or whatever, as long as I can find some place where I can just live by myself, and you guys can all kill yourself. But if you're destroying the planet itself, then you're taking me down with you.
Yeah. All right, sir, we're live.
Thank you.
Can you give us your name?
All they can come everything from Aldo to Brent.
Hi. My name's Theo.
How you doing, Theo?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Great.
All right. Well, my first question for you is, what do you think is the point of a government?
To monitor the violent criminal actions that would infringe upon public safety.
All right. So you think the main point of the government is kind of to keep us safe, and, like
Yeah,
you said,
so we
monitor
can
criminal
prosper.
activity? All right. My second question: do you think our government, the U.S. government, does a good job with that?
Well, no. No.
How come?
Criminal behavior could be contained. They can locate through the windows with a satellite or any other method what's going on in the homes, arrest. And if there's a criminal on the street, they have their cars, just plain sight, they can arrest. If it's a violent criminal action, and then the society can determine the sentence.
Okay.
And they're not doing that.
So with that being said, do you think our government is corrupt?
Yes, criminal. They're trying to have fun and do drugs. Hold on. Can't remember. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
They basically
No, not you. Not you.
all right. So basically, what you're saying, you think those people at the top kind of just do whatever the fuck they want to do and they abuse their power?
They do whatever they can. You can only there's two movies, any which way but lose, any which way you can.
All right. So do you think they listen to us, to our opinions? Do you think like the people have a say on the government policy agenda?
If it seems like a good idea, then yeah.
If it benefits them in some way?
They feel that it would, yeah, and then they might pick it.
Okay. So like, for example, like our protests and stuff, you think they listen to any of that and try to like change the laws and policies?
If John Kennedy said he'd take my wife, and they said the oversight on the left, and then the oversight said tell Oswald that's and they bring in Kennedy instead, or they just put the wrong information there, and then Oswald said okay, Ted Knight, right, and then he said no, Robertson. So Robertson is down there, and the Brent Tarpin's over here. Jimmy, this is a whole story about Jimmy Fallon, but some people, older people, know about Jimmy Fallon and Martha Stewart. What's the name? Thank you, kids, young man and young lady. Thank you so much, guys. Jackie O and the Junior and Kennedy and the Tar representing Jimmy Fallon, someone fell in there and pushed that big man in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. All right. So basically,
But Jimmy Fallon was the hit man, but they're saying it's a directive. And that's all I'm going to tell you. Figure out the rest yourself. Be a good person, and you owe me a bill, right?
I do owe you.
Now, by the way, I'm playing punk rock since 1983.
Oh, tell me.
False alarm. Give me a mill.
I got
The
you.
big ones. This kind of
Hey, one more last question.
Yes.
If I give you the option, if you had the option to achieve global domination, which means you have control over all government and military worldwide, would you do it?
If I could drink water in healthy way,
What would you do in that situation?
I would say, make the water, figure out if people don't drink water, like, so, if they drink, you can drink better.
Alright.
So, all right, thanks.
Thank you so
Now
much.
you can eat
I got
whatever.
you.